Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures. Scuba diving, the Turks and Caicos. Dive site, Spanish Anchor. The Spanish Anchor dive site is located off the west coast of West Caicos Island. It's also sometimes referred to as the Anchor or Whiteface. Whiteface is a reference to the steep white cliffs that are clearly visible above the nearby shoreline. The cliffs are only 10 to 12 feet high, but you can't miss them. The large Spanish anchor dating back to the 1600s may be found here in the gully. It's in about 80 to 85 feet of water. Here you see one of the dive guides pointing the anchor out to the divers behind him. The anchor's been there for many, many years and is completely encrusted. It's easy enough to swim by and miss if you don't know what you're looking for, especially coming from the shore side. From this side, the camera angle that I'm in, it's much easier to see. The walls in this area feature sheer vertical drops, and they're covered in large barrel, rope, and tube sponges. Here just to the right, you can see one of those large barrel sponges. Barrel sponges grow only about an inch a year, so as you can imagine, that barrel sponge is very old. This was dive number 9 and the second day of diving. Second dive on this particular dive site. My dive started just a few minutes after 4 o'clock in the afternoon and lasted almost exactly 50 minutes. I recorded a maximum depth of 69 feet and an average depth of 48 feet. The water temperature averaged a comfortable 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Here you can really get a view of how sheer the wall is at this dive site and see the large sponges sticking out. The visibility was great, and I would say it was well over 100 feet. These views are just breathtaking. I grew up watching Jacques Cousteau and National Geographic, and that really made an impression on me as a young person. And that's probably part of what drove me to want to scuba dive at such a young age. On a recent liveaboard dive trip, my cabin mate turned on some old Jacques Cousteau videos, and wow, they did not stand the test of time. I'm really not going to go any further into that, but if you have a chance, go watch some of those old videos and you'll probably see exactly what I mean. They really just don't comply with today's standards of, I guess you'd say, conservation. I'll leave it at that. I'll stop now, really. Anyway, I used to love the way that he would describe and narrate the video, so I'm gonna try to do a little bit of narration in the style of Jacques Cousteau, and we'll see how it turns out. In the heart of the Caribbean, beneath the glistening surface of the Turks and Caicos Islands, lies a realm that evokes a sense of wonder and reverence. A realm that beckons the intrepid explorer to embark on an aquatic journey unlike any other. As we venture into the deep, the water is as clear as the purest sapphire, a translucent window into a world unseen by most. The sheer walls of the Spanish Anchor dive site rise before us, a testament to the Earth's ancient past. These colossal formations, steep and imposing, mirror the monumental cliffs of our terrestrial world. Yet, they bear the distinct mark of the ocean's artistic hand, forged through eons of relentless tides and currents. The sheer walls themselves are a living canvas, adorned with a tapestry of life. As we descend into the enigmatic abyss, a sense of adventure and reverence envelops us. We are both explorer and guest in this aquatic wonderland, following in the footsteps of explorers before us. It is a privilege, one that calls for a deep commitment to preserving the beauty and sanctity of this marine sanctuary. I'd really appreciate some feedback on that style of narration. Let me know if you find it interesting, if you'd like to hear more like that, or never hear that again. I was impressed by these giant barrel sponges that we seem to find everywhere here in West Caicos. The largest ones being on the Brandywine dive site, but this one is extremely large as well that I'm swimming past. Here you can see a reef shark in the distance, just cruising along the top of the reef. At this point, the sun is getting low in the sky, so the visibility isn't really degrading, it's just a little darker. Trying to get in a little closer to the reef shark, get a better angle. They seem to glide through the water so effortlessly. Okay, back to the giant barrel sponges that I've been seeing throughout all of these dives. The one in front of me here really isn't truly barrel shaped. That might be something else, but I'm referencing the other giant barrel sponges. There's one off to the right. It's not extremely large, but there is one, and they have more of that true barrel shape. Anyway, those are giant barrel sponges. The book says that they range from anywhere to 6 feet, 6 feet kind of being the maximum. Huge barrel-shaped sponges, gray to brown or even reddish. They have a hard, deeply grooved exterior with jagged rims, generally solitary but often with one or two smaller individuals around the base. Typically found on reef slopes from 50 to 130 feet in depth. Although they are fairly sturdy, the rims can be easily damaged. Now this is interesting. This is a little bit different than what I've been saying, and it really doesn't give the growth per year, but it says here that a 3 to 4 foot specimen is estimated to be 1 to 200 years old. I was saying they grow about an inch a year, so I'd have to do the math. It goes on to say the largest specimens have been estimated to be more than 2,000 years old. This makes the species one of the longest lived animals on Earth. The fish we've been looking at that's swimming away, that's a coney grouper. Here's something I don't see too often, and that's a scorpion fish swimming. Usually they're very sedentary, and I don't often see them swimming unless they're disturbed. I'm pretty certain this is a spotted scorpion fish. Let me know if you think it's something else. The spotted scorpion fish range in size from 7 to 14 inches, reaching a maximum of about 18 inches, and they're usually found in water from 5 to 50 feet in depth. These are venomous, and they have spines in the forward part of their dorsal fin. that are like hypodermic needles. They have little sacs of venom at the bottom of them, and they can be extremely painful. As I mentioned, it's getting late in the day, so the sun's low in the sky, and the ISO level on the video is trying to self-adjust to compensate as it gets darker. I did get some wonderful photographs of the grouper we saw a few minutes ago, this flounder that we see here, and that scorpion fish we just saw. So you can see those photographs out on my Facebook page. I think they turned out really lovely. The flash really helped light things up. There are a variety of flounder, and in my opinion, they all look pretty similar. But I believe this is a peacock flounder, and there's a notch in the upper head profile above the lips right there, and that's what makes me think it's a peacock flounder. Again, I have some pictures that are a little closer and a little clearer, so if you want to look at those on the Facebook page, let me know if you think it's something else, but pretty sure this is a peacock flounder. They range in size from 6 to 15 inches, reaching a maximum of about 18 inches, and they're usually found in depths of water from 2 to 40 feet. I really find them beautiful and interesting. I try not to disturb them too much. You can see when the colors change, those bright rings come out, but then they can change as they land on something like this rock. It really blends in. And look at those eyes. Just incredibly fun to see and experience. Great dive.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.